What's going on, everyone? It's Jeremy. All right, we got this in the mail just a day ago. Well, in my time, a day ago. I'm ready to unbox this thing and see what it looks like. So the thing we have to do is to basically devalue it by, I'd say, a good 50 bucks, if not 100, by cutting that seal. And you can see it says Brickset Designer Program. There's one on each side. I don't think it honestly matters which side. So what we're going to do is cut this box open, take a look inside, and see how many bag numbers we got. All right. Oh, here we go. Lose 100 bucks, just like that. I guess long term. I'm sure it'd be probably might be more than $100. All right, let's pour this thing out. We get an interior box, and the one thing to note and remember, if you've not had a Brickset Designer box or set before, the instructions are only online. So you either have to have your phone, your iPad or tablet or a laptop to be able to build. The plus side is I think these are all going to be higher number bags because, well, maybe not. I see bag 18. 15, I think we've got to dump it all out. I see bag 2, that's what had me hopeful. 4, bag 4. All right. Well, I guess our unboxing continues. And I'm sure long term, this is going to be the way that Lego does it. They're going to end up cutting major costs by not printing huge manuals in full color. I mean, you might save 10 bucks a set or more by printing or by saving the printing. I imagine that's what they're going to. All right, we do get a sticker sheet. So, not really sure what to think about that. Now, I paid 250 bucks for this set. I think originally it was supposed to be 300 or 319. I don't remember what it was, but Lego, when they did the ordering, they messed up the pricing. And I think I was one of the very first ones to notice that and started telling other people. I think I caused like 20 other people to buy this set when I told them that's what the price is. It's not what they had advertised. It was way, way less. Oh, what a mess. We got to find bag 1. And here's the one thing you do get. It's just a little card. And got your QR code. That way we can build. You guys want to look at it. If you have the app, the Lego instruction app, it's going to be on there anyway. All you have to do is search the ID number, so it's not like it's a huge ordeal. This, along with the box, it's about the only thing that you're going to have to show that you actually bought this set. I mean, well, I guess the sticker sheet. Otherwise, you could piece it together. It's probably going to cost $400, $500 to piece it together, I would guess, just because of I mean, 3,800 parts you're going to end up buying from half a dozen sellers at least. So, figure that 5, 10, 30 bucks in shipping per seller. It's going to add up really fast. So, I guess I'll end it here for now, and we'll come back and see what this looks like a little bit. Get a few bags built. That way you guys can get an idea, at least what it's going to look like. I'm curious to see what the footprint size is. If it's going to be a base plate or if it's going to be bigger or smaller than this. I imagine it's going to be very close to this. So, I guess I got to get building. Okay, we're getting ready to start bag 6, which I just got them opened. Here's where we are now. I finally got it built. Let's take a look at the minifigs. You get 8 of them plus a little baby. Not really sure what that, I guess just a family a place to take the family to. But there's our 8 minifigs. Let's see the back. Some of them have back printing, some of them don't. No, none of them have side printing. Okay. 8 minifigs, that's decent. And I guess if you figure minimum cost $3 a piece on those, realistically, I guess today's day and age, it's 4 or 5. We'll call it 4. So 4 times 8, there's $32 right there at least, counting the baby. Sure. All right. So again, I paid $250 before taxes for this. $260 in change, so $260 after tax. So we'll figure 32's just in minifigs. Yeah, it's a great deal. I'll tell you now, I think this set is the single record holder. Now, I haven't built any of the large Star Wars sets, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say with cheese slopes, this set has more cheese slopes than any other set ever made. I have the Colosseum, and I know it's nowhere close. I'm trying to think of any other larger set that's out there. This set's almost 4,000 pieces. It's 38, almost 3,900 pieces. There's a lot of cheese slopes. You have all this, all the white on the top. There's so many. It's a very tedious build. Like between bags, I want to say somewhere around 8 to 14. And then the last 6 or 7 bags, which is this whole top part. Now let's see all the cool features on it. You see the little, now there's a lot of printed pieces. You wouldn't think that. Everything you see on the outside, those are stickers. But there is a lot of printed pieces. I imagine most of them are probably not unique to this set, but there is a lot that you'd have to get if you're going to try to piece this together. So even like little things like the top of the wood pieces down here for your railing, those pieces, these 1x4 tiles, I know those are 80 cents to $1 a piece on Bricklink if you can find them in bulk, which a lot of people don't have in bulk. We'll look at the side. Oh, now I mentioned earlier in the video, I guess it's before I built it, 32 by 32 base plate, which is right here. If we do that, see if I can get this down here, it is, except for this little extension, starting with that dark green stud over, 5 studs, no, I'm sorry, right past the dark green stud. So those 4 studs, you add this little piece of mountainside on. So it's wider than a 32, but it's 32 deep. Something to keep in mind if you're trying to build it or make space for it for yourself. Okay, by far the coolest feature is the top. Let's open it up and see what it does. So yeah, that slides open. Really cool how it slides open, slides closed. It's not perfect, but it does slide open. And yes, it rotates 360. And it's smooth. So we have a light brick in there. It's a red light brick. You can see it. I'm not really sure what the point of that is, but sure, it's in there. Okay. The telescope itself actually raises up, and I'll show you by just turning this knob. Let's see if I can, there we go. So you can see it raise and lower. And it's got to be lowered most of the way to be able to close. You don't have to close it all the way to close it. But anyway, that's a really cool feature. It just sits on there. The whole top is just sitting basically on tiles. So if we take it off, you can see the bottom just has this one little piece right there. and it's sitting right in here. Try to move the camera up to where you can see down in there. It just sits right in that circle and rotates, and you can see the only thing there is tile. And it works. You wouldn't think with the friction that this would work, but somehow it does. And I knew this piece was loose. I could feel it being loose. So let me fix this and we'll get the camera set up and we'll look down on this. Next up, we've got our observation deck. You can see the steps coming up. So like I said, right here is where that piece goes. We're going to take this off so you guys can see, just kind of take it apart as it goes. Then we'll put it back together. I'm going to compare it to the police station modular building that's out, just so you can see a size height comparison. So this all comes off. You can see no real interior on this level. That's okay. We're going to take that off. We've got our fun room in here. A little mini space shuttle, a little rover, space suit. So really, I guess you do get 10, I think there's 10 minifigures, because you get this blue space guy as well, other than just the metallic head, along with the other 8 actual minifigs, and then you get the space guy. So I guess there's 10 minifigs. Little decorations like a bar, countertop, soda machine. Sure. Pretty cool little display, almost like a display case cabinet where you use the windows and keep stuff in there. So nice little design. I might use that in the future. Steps going down here. Let's pop this off. Look in the basement. And basement's got the main center for the controls. You can see there's our power station, all the electrical and stuff in there. Like we got a bed, a little table, monitoring stations, the locker rooms, cubby holes, whatever you want to call them. All right, so let's put this all back together. And we'll do a 360 rotation with it so you guys can see what it looks like all around. This part here is by far, any of that rock work is by far the worst part of this thing. Your thumbs pushing all those cheese wedges down, man, my thumbs hurt. I had to basically break it up into a few days just because it just got so tedious and boring for some part of it. And then there's one piece, which is now the bane of my existence piece. And I'll see if I can find it on here. It's a piece I do not like. That piece right there, the pyramid piece. Trying to push down a dozen of those, man, it's just like stepping on Lego except with your hands. The feeling of that. Oh, I forgot one other spot here. So we have the trap door to get up into the area, which I don't really know if, I think part of this may come apart, but I'm not going to mess with it. We're just going to sit it on there. See if I can find the spot. Okay, we see. Okay, we're set. All right. So like I said, that rotates perfectly fine. I'm not really sure the point of the light brick other than to add an extra $4 in value, which is, if you didn't know, if you guys buy light bricks, that's about what they cost on the Lego website parts and pieces page. They're like $3.60 in the US to $4. They kind of go up and down. But yeah. All right. Do a rotation. Not a fan of the frogs, like I mentioned before. Like the flowering stuff. Not sure the point of the gold frogs here, but whatever. Backside, clearly the back side. When I integrate this into my mountain, this will be the stuff, this side will be up against the mountain face, and I'll show you that in a second here too, where I plan on putting it. And the other side, which is more rock work. Okay, so front side, this is obviously the front. You see all the signage. So if you have it there, can you pair it to the modulars? Yes, you can. What side? None of the sides have studs or have Technic pin holes like all the modulars do. So keep that in mind. But here is, let me move this back. So a side-by-side comparison. I'm going to drop the tripod so you get a real an equal straight-on view. That was the tripod, that wasn't me. So there you go. I mean, this is one that if you guys collect modulars and you haven't been doing it for long, this is one you're most likely going to have because it's like the second newest one that's out. It's also a little bit taller than some of the others. You can see pretty much straight on. If I get back here, the antennas are taller on that, but the actual structure is just maybe a brick, or maybe, I doubt it's even 2 bricks taller. Anyway, that's what we got. So, where am I going to put this in my city? If you missed my last video, I tried to show how I was going to do it, but I didn't really know how it was going to fit. So I'm going to get this camera off the tripod and show you where I'm going to try to plan on modifying my mountain to put it. Okay, so like I said in the last video, right where my white tree is, which I think it more cherry blossom type tree is the thing I'm going for here. We've got this little platform. It's going to go here. I'm going to shave off part of this mountain, and I'm going to extend this tunnel out. I'm going to do something that I've never seen done before, but I'm going to make it work. I'm going to make this archway come across and go right on this angle. I've not seen anybody do that. It's not going to be that hard because when I start building up, I don't have to build squares. I mean, I'm going to have a big base plate. I'm not even base plate, just the large plates sitting on top of it. So I've got a lot of room to basically just leave it open and didn't have to be perfect. So I'll take all the vegetation off, shave it back probably to here, right where that is, cut all this out. Probably have to come out to maybe about here. I'll measure it. I'll do some Lego measuring. And you can see my tunnel itself is just on a 32 base plate. That's going to work. The longer side is actually going this way. So to make this work, I'll need to come over and go right up against the barn. But I do have a little bit of a plan where I can overhang like a cliff. So it's kind of hard to explain. Instead of tapering up this way, you can taper out the other way to where if you were standing down there and it rained, you wouldn't get wet because you'd have an overhang above you of cliff. I think I'm going to attempt that. We'll see. It's got a water feature, which I showed earlier. That's going to be something I'll just have to figure into this and make some little thing work. I'm not just going to leave it and not acknowledge that it's there. But anyway, we've got to take all that nice, what I call really nice detail work. I also want to point out a lot of that stonework. It's not stonework, it's more dirt on the observatory. It's got to be dark tan. So a lot of this is gray. So I did buy a bunch of gray pieces, but I can't use those. So I had to buy a bunch of dark tan bricks, kind of like what's already taken place over there. Kind of wish I'd have left that and moved it over there. Oh, if I'd have known in advance. I'm not going to touch anything over there. That's perfect, fine the way I want it. That's a lot more manageable and I can deal with it. So, yeah. But as you can see, the observatory over there, it's going right there. It's going to be a while before I get this done because there's a lot of manipulation to it. I thought it was only going to take 2 hours. It's probably going to be a 4 to 6 hour job to fix this right, the way I feel it should be fixed. So anyway, guys, if you want to see that, stay tuned. Farm updates, city updates coming. Lots of updates, more building stuff. Backlog is full. We got to get that stuff built. Stay tuned. We'll see you in the next video.